On a sunny Saturday morning, the Muller family visited a pet store in the city. 8-year-old Max loved animals more than anything, and his parents had promised him that today they would just look. But then, Max spotted a large aviary filled with white cockatoos, and his eyes began to sparkle. "Mom! Dad!" he called excitedly. "Look! A cockatoo! He's so beautiful! Can we get him?" His father stepped closer and examined the magnificent bird. "Oh yes, he is impressive," he said thoughtfully. The store clerk, Mr. Schmidt, approached them with a friendly smile. "Hello, are you interested in our cockatoos? This Goffin cockatoo here costs $1,200. Max could hardly contain himself. "Dad, please, can we get him?" Then something unexpected happened. The cockatoo, who had been quietly perched all this time, opened his eyes wide and looked straight at Max. "Hold on a moment, young man," the cockatoo said suddenly, in a deep, wise voice. Max froze. His eyes grew as wide as saucers. You can talk," he stammered, utterly bewildered. "Of course I can," the cockatoo replied calmly. "I'm wild, and before your dad spends his hard-earned money, we should have a conversation. You humans usually only listen when it's too late. So sit down, Max. This will take a while." The parents exchanged confused glances. Talking cockatoos? But Max actually sat down on the floor in front of the cage, fascinated by the wise bird. "Okay, I'm listening," he said with wide eyes. Wild nodded approvingly. "Good. So you think I'm cute, right?" "Yes, totally," Max answered eagerly. Wild puffed up slightly on his perch, his feathers ruffling. "Yes, I am cute, that's true. But I'm not a stuffed animal, Max. I'm not a toy you put back on the shelf when you get bored." "I would never do that," Max began to protest. "Really?" Wild interrupted gently. "Let me tell you what happened to the last cute cockatoo a family bought without being prepared." A sad silence filled the room. Wild lowered his head, his voice softer now. "The family bought him for their son. At first, everything was wonderful. The boy played with him, fed him, was overjoyed. But then life returned. The boy had school again, the parents had work, and the cockatoo. He sat alone for 8 long hours a day in a cage far too small." Wild paused. He screamed from loneliness. He wanted nothing more than company, attention, love. But the family didn't understand. They thought he was just loud and annoying. They got angry at him. Can you imagine, Max? He suffered, and they were angry at him for it. What happened to him?" Max asked, his voice trembling. "They returned him after only 3 months, Wild said quietly, broken-hearted, plucked feathers, deeply traumatized. It took nearly a year for him to trust humans again." "Oh no, that's terrible," Max's mother whispered, horrified. Wild waited a long moment, then continued in a serious tone. "So Max, do you still want a cockatoo? Let me tell you what that really means, the whole truth." He stood tall, like a professor giving an important lecture. "First, and this is crucial, I am not a pet for 5 years, not 10 years. I live 60 to 70 years. 70 years, Max. Do you understand what that means?" Max thought. "That's older than my grandpa ever was." "Exactly," Wild confirmed. "If you get me at 8 years old, I'll still be here when you're 78. Think about that. You'll go to school. I'll be here. You'll go to college. I'll be here. You'll get married, maybe have children. I'll still be here. Are you really ready for that lifelong responsibility?" Max's father cleared his throat. I hadn't thought about that at all. That is a very long time." "Most people don't," Wild said understandingly. "But that's just the beginning. Second, I need at least 3 to 4 hours of intensive time with you every single day, not sitting in my cage while you watch TV. No, real time. With you. Playing, talking, training, cuddling, interacting. I am a highly intelligent, highly social being. Without daily meaningful interaction, I become depressed and develop serious behavioral problems." Wild made a dramatic pause. "Third, and you should know this, I am loud, very loud, especially at 6 in the morning." 6 in the morning? Max asked nervously. "Every morning, even Saturdays, even Sundays, even during summer vacation," Wild explained patiently. We cockatoos scream at sunrise. It's deeply ingrained in our nature, and we can't help it. It's our way of saying, "Good morning, I'm alive, where are you all?" At that moment, Wild let out a short but piercing scream. Everyone jumped. "That's what it sounds like, every morning, at 6, he said with a small, mischievous sparkle in his eye. "Really, every morning?" Max's mother repeated, worried. That could be very challenging. "Welcome to my world," Wild said dryly. "But I'm not done yet. Fourth, let's talk about money. You think $1,200 is a lot? That's just the beginning of the story." Wild counted the points on his claws. High-quality food, fresh fruits, vegetables, nuts, special pellets, costs $50 to $80 every month. Toys, because I destroy absolutely everything and need constant enrichment, another $30 per month. And then, the vet. "The vet?" Max's father asked cautiously. "Not just any vet," Wild corrected seriously. "A specialized bird vet. They are rare and expensive. A single visit can cost $100 to $300. And yes, I get sick. I need regular checkups. Birds hide illness until it's almost too late. It's survival instinct from the wild." His father swallowed audibly. "That much per visit?" "Per visit," Wild confirmed. "And then I need a proper cage. At least $500 for one that's big enough. Not those tiny prisons most people buy. I need space to climb, play, and spread my wings properly." Wild did a quick calculation. "Altogether, we're talking at least $150 per month. That's $800 per year, over 70 years. "That's an incredible sum," murmured Max, trying desperately to add the numbers in his head. "But you know what?" Wild's voice softened suddenly. "Money isn't even the most important part. Fifth, and this you really need to understand, Max, I am wild at heart. My ancestors lived free in the rainforests of Indonesia. I have strong wild instincts. I chew everything. Really everything. Furniture, door frames, books, your school supplies." Max had to giggle despite the serious tone. "My homework?" "Oh yes," said Wild with a hint of amusement. "That would probably be first. But seriously, I can also get very jealous. I usually bond closely with one or two people. When you grow older and maybe have a girlfriend, I might just try to bite her." "Bite?" Max shouted in alarm. "Our beaks are strong enough to crack hard nuts easily," Wild explained matter-of-factly. "Imagine what we could do to a human finger. We bite when scared, when jealous, when we feel threatened, or sometimes just in a bad mood. It's not cruelty. It's our natural way of communicating. But yes, it hurts, a lot." Max suddenly felt very small and thoughtful. After a long pause, he asked softly, "Does that mean I can never have a cockatoo?" Wild's expression softened completely. "No, Max, I'm not saying you can never have one. I'm just saying you must be truly prepared. Your whole family must be prepared. Let me show you how smart people do it," Wild continued warmly. "They first learn everything about us. They read books, watch documentaries, visit breeders and rescue centers. They talk extensively with experienced cockatoo owners and hear their stories, the wonderful moments and the challenging ones. They prepare their home carefully. They create a safe, stimulating space. They save enough money for emergencies. They plan who will care for me when they work or go on vacation. Because you can't just take a cockatoo to a hotel or leave it with someone else." Wild looked Max in the eye, and most importantly, they asked themselves honestly, can I truly give 70 years, every single day, the time, energy, and love this bird needs? If the answer is maybe or I think so, the real answer is no, not yet. And what if the honest answer really is no? Max asked quietly. Suddenly, a cheerful young squeak sounded, and a much younger cockatoo hopped energetically onto the perch next to Wild. "Then there are so many other wonderful ways to love birds," the young cockatoo exclaimed enthusiastically. "Who are you?" Max asked, surprised and a little cheered up. Wild smiled warmly for the first time. "This is Skippy. He's only 3 years old and thinks life is simple and full of adventure." "Hey, I'm just optimistic," Skippy protested with youthful excitement, hopping back and forth. But you know what, Max? You can visit us. At Wild Moments, for example. You can spend lots of time with real cockatoos, learn from us, understand us, all without the 70-year commitment. Exactly, Wild added. Or visit a bird sanctuary. Or volunteer at a rescue center. There are truly many fulfilling ways to love cockatoos, support them, and spend time with them without owning one directly. Max thought very deeply for a long time. His mother gently and encouragingly placed a hand on his shoulder. What do you think, my dear? Max took a deep breath. I think Wild is right. I'm honestly not ready yet. I just didn't know how much real work and responsibility it really is. I just thought he's cute, and I want to play with him. But that's not enough, is it? His father knelt beside him and put an arm around him. That was a very mature and wise decision, Max. I'm really proud of you. Not many children, or frankly adults, would have been so sensible. Max still looked a little sad, but also noticeably relieved. But can we maybe buy a good book about cockatoos? And can we really visit Wild Moments? Then I could learn more and get to know the cockatoos better. And maybe when I'm older and understand everything then? His mother smiled warmly. Of course we can. And when you're older, when we are all truly ready and everything is perfectly prepared, then we can think about it again. Do you promise? Max asked hopefully. We promise, said both parents simultaneously, sincerely. Wild nodded approvingly. See? That is the fundamental difference between a good future cockatoo owner and a poor one. A good owner first asks, am I really ready for you? Can I give you a truly good, fulfilled life? A poor owner just asks, are you cute? Do I want you? He spread his magnificent white wings proudly. Cockatoos are absolutely incredible creatures. We are as intelligent as 3-year-old children. We are funny, incredibly loving, playful, and full of surprises. We can dance, learn complex tricks, form deep emotional bonds. But at the same time, we are also very, very demanding. We are definitely not for someone who wants a low-maintenance, uncomplicated pet. Skippy was still hopping excitedly. Wild, don't you think you might have been a little too serious with the nice boy? He looks so sad now. Wild turned to the younger cockatoo. Skippy, you are still very young. You don't understand some things fully yet. It's better to experience a little disappointment and the whole truth now than a broken heart later. For the boy and the cockatoo they would have bought unprepared. Skippy tilted his head thoughtfully. I understand what you mean. You're probably right, as usual. Of course I'm right, Wild said with mock arrogance but a warm smile. I'm 13 years old. I've seen many humans come and go. I know exactly what I'm talking about. The Muller family slowly stood up. Max gave one last, very long look at Wild and Skippy. Thank you, Wild, he said sincerely. Thank you for telling me the honest truth. That was brave of you. Wild bowed his head slightly and respectfully. You're very welcome, young man. And never forget, one day, if you are ready, truly, truly ready, we cockatoos are the most wonderful, loyal companions you could ever have. But only then, if you are truly ready. As the family slowly left the pet store, Max still heard Skippy's cheerful, excited voice. Come visit us soon, we'd be so happy. And Max smiled because he had learned something very important today. Sometimes the best way to truly love something is not to own it immediately, but first to understand, respect, and honor it.